The human brain, in its ancient and stubborn design, has a very specific reaction to learning something new. It releases a little hit of dopamine, the same reward chemical it gives you for finding a berry bush or a source of fresh water. It feels good. It feels like progress. And this system worked perfectly for millennia. Find a new path to the coast. Get a reward. Learn which plants are poisonous. Get a reward. But here in the modern world, this ancient wiring has been hijacked. You are no longer foraging for berries. You are foraging for information. And every time you watch a tutorial, every time you skim an article about productivity, every time you add a book to your to-read list, your brain, this ancient machine inside your skull, gives you that same little hit. It pats you on the head and says, "Good job. You are preparing. You are improving." And you feel a sense of accomplishment. But you have not accomplished a single thing. You have simply been tricked. You have consumed, not created. You have learned, not done. And this right now, as you listen to this, is the hidden trap. You are receiving the reward for the work without having done the work. And your brain, being the efficient but ultimately gullible organ that it is starting to get confused. It's starting to believe that the feeling of progress is the same thing as progress itself. I want you to think back. Think back to the last time you genuinely changed something significant about your life. Not a small shift, not a temporary fix, but a fundamental alteration in your trajectory. It probably didn't start with a 50-video YouTube deep dive. It probably started with a single decisive and often uncomfortable action. A conversation you finally had. A resignation letter you wrote. A first terrible sentence you typed onto a blank page. A single painful lap around the block. Action. Raw, unresearched, imperfect action. Now, contrast that with how you operate most of the time. You have a goal. Let's say you want to start a business. What is the very first thing you do? If you're like most people, you open a browser. You search for how to start a business. You fall down a rabbit hole of business structures, marketing funnels, SEO strategies, and founder podcasts. You buy a domain name. That feels huge, doesn't it? Buying a domain name. It feels like you've planted a flag. You've made an investment. You tell your friends, "I'm starting a business," and they congratulate you. And you feel that wave of validation. You create an elaborate business plan in a beautiful notebook. You spend weeks on it. The colors, the graphs, the projections. It's a work of art. It feels so professional. It feels like you are a real business person. You have 100 tabs open on your browser. You have a playlist titled Hustle. You are, by all accounts of your own perception, in the trenches. You are building. But let me ask you a question that will cut through all of that. Where are your customers? Who has paid you a single dollar for a product or a service that you have created? If the answer is no one, then you are not building a business. You are building a library about building a business. You are curating a museum of potential. And it is a beautiful, comfortable, stimulating museum. The lighting is perfect. The exhibits are fascinating. You can spend years wandering its halls, feeling smarter and more prepared with every passing day. But outside the walls of that museum, the real world is waiting. A world of rejection, of awkward sales calls, of failed prototypes, of negative feedback, of real, grinding, unsexy work. And your brain, having already received its dopamine rewards for the work of planning and learning, sees that harsh outside world and whispers, "Not yet. We're not quite ready. Let's just watch one more video on conversion rates. Let's just read one more book on copyright." The planning becomes a fortress, a beautifully constructed, intellectually stimulating fortress designed for a single purpose: to keep you from having to face the battlefield. This is the trap. False progress. It's the treadmill that shows you a beautiful landscape of a mountain you could be climbing, while you simply walk in place, growing tired but going nowhere. You are sweating. Your heart is pumping. You are putting in the time. From the outside, it looks like dedication. But you and the treadmill know the truth. You have not taken a single step toward the actual mountain. The trap is so seductive because it is painted in the colors of virtue. It looks like diligence. It feels like prudence. I just need to be better prepared, you tell yourself. I don't want to make a stupid mistake. And so you delay. And every delay is justified by another piece of information, another spark of inspiration, another hit of that digital dopamine. Think about your own life. How many times have you said the words, as soon as I finish this course, I'll be ready to apply for the job. As soon as I have the perfect equipment, I'll start the project. As soon as I feel motivated, I'll begin. These are the whispered lies of the trap. They are the siren's song, luring you onto the rocks of perpetual preparation. The course will end, and you will find another one. The equipment will arrive, and you'll realize you need an accessory. The motivation will come in a fleeting spark, and you'll wait for it to become a roaring fire, which it never does. Motivation is not the cause of action, it is the reward for it. You have to move first. The feeling follows the deed. You have replaced the anxiety of execution with the comfort of consumption. And it is a brilliant, devilish trade. Execution is messy. It is full of uncertainty and the very high probability of failure. Consumption is clean. It is linear. You start at the beginning of a video and you end at the end. There is a clear progression, a progress bar. You are led by the hand by an expert. There are no unexpected questions, no brutal rejections, no glaring evidence of your own inadequacy. It is a safe, controlled environment. Your brain loves safe, controlled environments. It evolved to conserve energy and avoid danger. And what is more dangerous to the modern psyche than the prospect of looking foolish, of trying and failing? The trap protects you from that. It gives you all the feelings of growth with none of the risks. But here is the painful unspoken truth that the trap conceals. Real growth is not a feeling. It is a scar. It is a record of damage healed. It is the callus on your hands from lifting weights that were once too heavy. It is the memory of a humiliating failure that taught you a lesson you never forgot. It is the resilience built from pushing through a day when you wanted to quit more than anything. Real progress is quiet, often boring, and almost always uncomfortable. It doesn't have a progress bar. It doesn't come with a soundtrack of inspiring music. It happens in the silent, determined space between deciding to do something and actually doing it, over and over again. Especially when you don't want to. Your notes, your bookmarks, your saved posts, your playlists, they are not progress. They are the ghost of progress future. They are potential energy. And potential energy, left unchecked, does not build up into a magnificent explosion of achievement. It dissipates. It fades. It becomes the background radiation of your regret. I could have been is the saddest epitaph in any language. And the trap is the factory where that epitaph is written. One inspiring video, one detailed plan, one someday at a time. You have been collecting maps instead of exploring the territory. You have a drawer full of meticulously detailed charts of every possible journey you could take. You know the elevation gains, the river crossings, the best places to camp. You can talk for hours about the theory of exploration, but your boots are clean. Your feet have never ached. You have never been truly lost, and therefore, you have never truly found your way. The map is not the journey. The recipe is not the meal. The plan is not the business. You are starving to death while reading a cookbook, convincing yourself that the descriptions of food are nourishing you. This is the confession. This is the whispered truth. We are all afraid to speak aloud. We are a generation of professional students of life, with no degrees in living. We are connoisseurs of the process, with no finished products. We are inspired daily and activated never. The trap has become our habitat. We mistake the menu for the meal. And we wonder why we are so hungry, so unfulfilled, so stagnant, despite all of the frantic activity in our minds and on our screens. The only way out is through a deliberate, violent act of rebellion against your own instincts. You must choose the pain of action over the comfort of preparation. You must reinterpret that feeling of, "I'm not ready," not as a warning sign to stop, but as the starting pistol itself. That feeling is the gate. Everyone feels it. The people who actually build things, who actually change their lives, are not the ones who waited for it to disappear. They are the ones who felt the full force of that uncertainty, that fear, that sense of being an imposter. And they took the first step anyway. They accepted that their first draft would be terrible, that their first business would likely fail, that their first workout would be pathetic. They embraced the mess. They understood a fundamental law of the universe. You cannot think your way into a new life. You must act your way into a new way of thinking. So what does this look like in practice? It means if you want to be a writer, you must stop reading books about writing and put one word after another on a page. A terrible page. It means if you want to be an entrepreneur, you must stop refining your business plan and go try to sell something, anything, to a real person today. It means if you want to get in shape, you must stop watching workout tutorials and go for a run. A slow, ugly, breathless run. You must trade the high-resolution fantasy for the low-resolution, pixelated reality, because that pixelated reality is the only thing that is real. Everything else is a dream. This is the climb out of the trap. It is not a single leap. It is a daily, hourly negotiation with your own brain. Your brain will scream for the easy dopamine of a new video, a new article, a new plan. You must learn to starve it of that false reward, and instead feed it the real, hard-earned dopamine of completion, of a task finished, conversation had, a page written, a weight lifted. This real dopamine is quieter, but it is deeper. It doesn't leave you with an anxious hangover. It leaves you with a quiet confidence. The confidence that comes not from knowing what to do, but from knowing that you can do. Read less. Do more. This is the mantra. Learn less. Apply more. Let your life become your evidence. Let your progress be measured in scars and calluses and finished projects, no matter how small or imperfect. Let your notes be the brief, messy scrawls you make after you've done the work, not the pristine outlines you create before you've begun. The trap is comfortable. It is warm. It is safe. It is a cage made of good intentions and curated inspiration. But a cage is still a cage, no matter how golden its bars. You fell into it. You didn't mean to. It was designed for you to fall into. But now you see the bars. You feel them. The question that remains, the only question that matters, is this: will you spend the rest of your life decorating your cage, making it more and more comfortable, convincing yourself that this is what freedom looks like? Or will you take the first, difficult, terrifying step out into the messy, unpredictable, and gloriously real world? The choice is yours. And it is a choice you make not tomorrow, not later, but right now.